What is up, guys? Abixis here, coming at you with another Overwatch video. Today, I'm going to be talking about the patch notes breakdown. I really felt like I needed to do this because there are so many changes here, and I don't want somebody to go on the game and be like, wait a minute, what happened to my hero? So let's go ahead and quickly talk about these. I'm going to try to get this video going quickly, off the cuff, and just kind of go over everything and what I think it's going to affect. The first change I see here is that all Overwatch characters now will have their ultimate charge retained. Only 25 versus 30. Not a huge change. It's across the board, so it shouldn't change too much. And the tank role passive. Now, all tank heroes will be lower health when playing in a mode that isn't like role queue. So if you're playing like deathmatch, your tanks will no longer have the higher health, meaning you could pick more different characters in damage rolls. We're going to mostly focus on the comp implications here. So anything like that, we're going to be skipping. Doomfist, base health stays the same. Junker Queen. Okay, so this is actually the first one. Junker Queen's base health in role queue modes now increased to 450. A little bit of a buff for her. I really like that, actually. I think that it's going to really help Junker Queen. In fact, I don't find her all that bad right now, to be honest. So I think that's a pretty healthy change for Junker Queen. Expect that to be a little buff for her. For Orisa, damage fall-off range reduced from 25 to 15 meters. So basically all that means is they have to be closer now for the damage to fall off. So she's going to be a lot worse at a distance. Now, 10-meter difference is quite a bit in Overwatch. Basically, if you're still up in their face, you're going to do the same amount of damage that you were, but they will only have to back up less distance to be able to do it now. Now, the Ramatra change is quite healthy here. This is a pretty hefty change. Basically, the ultimate used to be able to last forever. We all knew this. We thought it was kind of weird when we saw it. Now it has a max duration of 20 seconds. Damaging people with your ultimate is still beneficial. Obviously, you want to damage people with your ultimate regardless. It will extend the duration, slow the timer down, but can now only last up to 20 seconds. That is a very, very substantial change for Ramatra, because it kind of felt like when Ramatra would ult, you lost. The fight's over. He's going to win it. Ultimate cost is now increased as well. This is a pretty big nerf for Ramatra, but I do think it's a good one. Reinhardt, I was very, very excited to see these. There's a lot going on here. So let's take a look at Rocket Hammer. Rocket Hammer knockback impulse reduced. I think that might actually be a good thing. You don't really want to be knocking everyone around, having to chase them while you're hitting them. I think this will be a pretty good one. Charge cooldown reduced. 1 second is pretty substantial on an ability like that. Fire strike damage up. A lot of changes here for Reinhardt mains. Very happy for you guys seeing all these positive changes. One nerf here. Direct hit damage reduced. Now, I do think this is fine because it really was, I feel like when they added that, nobody really felt like that was something that needed to be added. So I think that was a healthy change. But the knockdown duration increase means it's even better as a CC ability now. And the ultimate cost, while being a little up, I think it's not going to be too much of a change overall. I think he'll still be really benefited from the other changes. Expect Reinhardt to get a very healthy upgrade from this. Roadhog. Roadhog, they are still doubling down on making his ultimate more fun to use and more balanced out. Whole Hog now allowing you more duration. Basically along the lines of, we allowed you to heal and hook while you're in ult, so let's give you a little bit more time to do that. A little bit more time to get creative with things. If the cost is up 8%, that shouldn't hurt too much. 8% is not a ton. So I think this is a good change for Hog. Sigma's ultimate change also increasing 7%. I'm not really sure why, but that's fine. I suppose they're just trying to maybe nerf the tanks a tiny bit. Winston, health reduced from 700 to 650 on barrier projector. That doesn't seem like a lot, but if you go off of a damaged character gunning that thing down, 50 damage could be the difference between you living or dying. So I think that's a pretty substantial change. Not game-breakingly crazy, but, you know, not exactly great either for Winston. Wrecking Ball got some really big changes here, guys. Base health in role queue modes reduced from 600 to 450. You're thinking, oh no, he's getting nerfed into the ground. But shield health increased from 0 to 150. He's gaining it back in shield, basically meaning he will be tankier than before. Pile driver cooldown reduced. Going to be slamming the ground a little bit more, popping around, doing big damage. Minefield cost increased by almost 10%. Pretty substantial, but arming time will be reduced. I think overall these will be good changes. He's going to be more tanky. He's going to stay up longer. He's going to be more disruptive, but they want to make his ultimate more of an ultimate and less of the focus. Zarya, ultimate and cost increased. Seems like they're kind of just doing it across the board for some of these tanks. Grav is a big ult. I don't like Zarya too much at the moment anyway, so this kind of hurts. Cole Cassidy. Primary fire for the Peacekeeper. Fall off range increased. So Cassidy is going to now be Widowmaker, basically. Is what that means. And combat roll movement is no longer blocked by enemy players' collisions. So basically they have turned him into a ghost. He can now just go straight through somebody. I don't think this will be too impactful, but it could be pretty healthy for him, considering I do find him to be the weakest hit scan right now. Junkrat, maximum damage reduced from 120 to 100 on Concussion Mine. A lot of people will be happy with this. People hate Concussion Mine. They think it's a no-skill ability. Why doesn't it damage him, etc., etc., etc. I don't think this will hurt his place in the meta very much, but I still think it is a solid minor change. May, ultimate cost reduced by 5%. Barrage for Pharah, same exact thing. And Reapers for 8%. I think these are very healthy changes. These are going to make these characters be able to ult more often. Reapers is probably going to be the most interesting, actually, because I don't find Reaper to be all that bad at the moment. Pharah and May, a little bit of help is nice because they are, not as popular picks. Pharah, obviously, good with a pocket, but that ultimate, since it's not the strongest ultimate in the game, will be nice to be able to get it a little bit more often. 76. Number of shots to reach maximum recoil increased from 4 to 6, and recoil reduced overall across the board. This will make Soldier feel a lot more, a lot easier for newer players trying to pick him up for the first time, which I do like, especially because he is a perfect character to recommend to new players. For experienced players, I don't think this will really change too much for them. I'm glad to see some little changes for Soldier, but I'm really wondering where they were going with this, what they were thinking. I don't think it'll be crazy, but it's interesting. Sombra, damage increased on her gun. That's good. I think that'll be good because she has been kind of lackluster recently. And she can now hack health packs for an extra 15 seconds. That will probably be a change that people will just completely forget about. But the damage is nice. 0.5 isn't seem like a ton, but over the course of an entire match, that can add up pretty quickly. I don't think it's going to push her to S tier status or anything, but maybe move her up a small, tiny bit from where she currently is. Wow. Symmetra, ultimate cost increased by 10%. 10%, pretty substantial for Sim, but she also builds ult pretty quickly, so shouldn't be too much. This one people will love, I'm sure. Deploying turret has less health. I'm sure everyone loves fighting against automated turrets that have aimbot. So they'll be a little easier to destroy, guys. Just start, please shoot the turrets. Shoot the turrets, please. If you see a turret, shoot it. That's my tip. Widowmaker, base health reduced. Base health reduced. Big change here. Widowmaker's health is down. Basically returning her back to where she was. You shouldn't notice this one too much. Don't find it to be too impactful because most of the time if you're Widow and you get jumped on, you're probably dead anyway. But interesting little nerf. Love this one. Anna's Biotic Grenade effect reduced from 4 to 3 seconds. I'm sure a lot of people will love that change. I hate getting hit with Hannah's grenade, so this will be a pretty healthy change for a lot of people. Bragita, repair pack, healing over time reduced from 55 to 50 per second. Applying a repair pack now instantly heals for 25 on impact. Very good change. The speed of Overwatch 2 has not been kind to Brigida sometimes. I think this will really help her. And then ultimate cost reduced. Yes. Good changes for Brig. Don't think they're really horrible changes that are going to scare people into GOAT meta. It's GOAT meta again. No, it's not. Good changes to keep her back up. Lucio, sound barrier reduced by 7%. No, I don't like that one either. I'm not a big fan of abilities like sound barrier and Zenyatta's ultimate transcendence, but it's a good change for Lucio. I like a little love to Lucio, especially with how strong I think Kiriko and Mercy will be. Speaking of Mercy, let's talk about Mercy. Guardian Angel cooldown increased from 1.5 to 2.5. Holding the backwards directional input by canceling this ability will jump now move 20% slower. Little nerf there for Mercy. Sorry, Mercy mains. Now, the staff is also getting nerfed. Healing per second reduced from 55 to 45. But, let's talk about the impactful change here and why I think this is going to be ridiculous. Healing is increased by 50% for allies under half health. That more than makes up for the 10 drop off. That is so huge. Basically, if somebody's low and you're just trying to ping your team, like keep them up while they're low, huge. Also, a new passive for Mercy. Mercy heals herself for 25% of healing done with the, I'm not going to try to pronounce that word, staff. I'm telling you right now, my bold prediction is Mercy is going to be very, very, very strong. Coalescence reduced by 5%. Self-explanatory. Strong ultimate. Going to be very good. And then Zen, Yada, ammo increased. So if you're terrible at Zen, you're throwing those balls, and you're not that great at hitting them, you got 5 more to work with. So he's going to be S tier. Alright. New maps, obviously. And I believe that might be it. So, wow, that's a lot of changes to take in. I think the Mercy change will be very, very much an impact on the game. I think a lot of these will slightly move people around. But I'm telling you right now, this mid-patch tier list coming up in a few weeks or a month or whatever is going to be chaos. So much of this stuff is hard to tell how it's going to translate, especially when you have that many moving parts going. We'll see what happens. Thank you for listening, guys. I hope this helped clear up some of the problems with the patch, and so you know what's going on now. And you can see what happened to your favorite character. Hopefully they got a buff and not a nerf. Unless you're a Symmetra main. But with that said, good luck on your ranked climb, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching.